All right, let's go. We got game 3. No one expected Golden Guardians to make it this far, but here they are against the 2 seed from China. This has never been done. If the LCS were to win this game, it would be a first. So, cheering for Golden Guardians on red side again. So they chose red side for themselves, and they did win with it on the second game. Man, what a ride that was. But here we go. Game 3. Can they do it again? Poppy gets left open. The adjustment from BLG is to go Scion in the top lane. No longer going for a threat. They normally go double threat combinations where they go Elk as a main carry and Bin as a secondary carry. Or I should say Bin is like the main focus and then Elk can become the secondary. But these games, Elk has been out carrying Bin. And I do think that top lane should be on tanks in general, right? The AD carries are in such a good spot. Elk has been playing well, so he has earned himself the right to try to carry this game. Overall, low damage comp, you have Syndra and Xayah. You're going to get some amount of burst from Vi and Syndra, but Xayah really the only sustained damage over time. And then going against it, we got LeBlanc and Jarvan, which is Syndra's nightmare, absolutely. And Gory showing right away attack W and attack to get the electrified proc off. And going to take it to the Syndra. So we'll see if Syndra goes for an early boots at least, and if not, Merc Treads. The Merc Tread's probably not that valuable against the whole team, but we see a lot of these teams going for it. I'd like to see her stay in Sork Shoes because her burst is going to matter. I could also see going Lucidity to try to find more picks. But really, realistically, I don't want the Poppy to be able to free up his build. Oh, Stixie having to flash early. Showing the aggression right here. The minions were not going to die there. That was not a level 2 coming in, though. So I don't think the flash was necessary. Great job on the binding here. They're going to get a kill. Oh, using the heal aggressively. Morgana had ideas for looking for the kill, but Stixie was already stepping back. A little bit of a miscommunication there. But they will just thoroughly trounce the lane. This allows River to invade as well, who he should be going to help out. Don't worry about the Jinx. She's good. River knows that he's strong. He went topside full clear into invade. And because we had both junglers go topside clears, there's going to be scrums here. The question is going to be, what is Rakan going to do as he comes back to lane? And this is going to get dangerous for River. Now, just slowing down the pace of the game, generally going to favor the Vi. Jarvan's going to fall off a little bit more than the Vi does, but Jarvan does have the ability to pump up his team's attack speed, so that's always going to matter. And in this game, when you have champions like Jinx and even Poppy, right, having that ability to get one more attack off can be a big difference. Gory going aggressive here all day long, saying, hey, we're going to keep going because the lower we get, the more kill pressure the Jarvan's going to have. So love this approach right now. We have tank into tank. Poppy going to benefit from Divine Sunder here, though, which is what he built last time. I expect him to do it again. Now, the junglers have slowed down. They've gone into a far side clear. I imagine that they'll try to get a shop in before going back to their top side, the Gromp and the Krugs. They have enough time. Jarvan instead moving straight over. Maybe going straight for Scuttle, saying, all right, I want to win this Scuttle. You can get bot Scuttle. We'll trade these, and then I'll be able to go get Krugs and Raptors before recalling. And he'll have a svelte total coming in there, probably like 1,100. Does put the ward out, which is a little bit disconcerting. They put these wards out, not realizing that Vi was just seen in the bot wave. So a little bit waste from the wards. We'll see if they get some action done in the top lane. But check out the form on this invade. Perfectly done, even through the black shield. And they're going to stay here, and they're going to take out Hui. Once they collect themselves, they can say, all right, time to grab aggro. Now. Here we go. He's ready to go. And they get it quick. Done, dusted, in and out. And with that huge wave, they get it done. Colossal misstep from River, and River does not even take Western Quadrant camps. This is bad news, guys. I want to say this is tremendous misplay from the jungle, from River, right? Everything was set up perfectly. Bot lane had won their matchup, and you came down to invade, but then you had that moment where he's like, am I staying with Styx here? Am I helping with the invade? And then from that moment on, it's just been River on the back foot, kind of reacting to these plays. Very clean there. grabbing aggro, holding it for the maximum. Check out this technique now. Vi's going to be the one. They're waiting for the shield to come up. And they say, all right, we're in position. Now, here we go. They are not even waiting for the shield passive, just waiting for everyone's abilities to be up. Whew. Level 6 spike from Yagao. Beats Gory to 6. That's huge. And is able to get this chunk out. And this is the difference between teleport and ignite. If you are unable to get that kill, right? Big deal. We want that pressure of the all-in, right? You want to deny the champion the ability or the thought of even going after you by having them at low health at all times. And honestly, you know what? Yagao not even using the teleport. So really just winning this lane by his own merits, outplaying Gory. There, you got to be careful. When you're the LeBlanc, you need to get those good timings. You know, gonna put the eyeball on River again. If your mid laner's being super aggressive and using all of their corrupting potion stacks, then you need to come over and help them get the push out so that they can get a good recall. You can't have this situation where Yagao beats you to 6 on Syndra versus LeBlanc. You can't have that, right? Normally you make them burn the teleport, and when they burn the teleport, yes, okay, that's fine. You can get ahead of me by a half a minion wave. But in this case, to get there first, that's just a mistake. And especially when Vi's making a diving play bottom, there's no excuse for losing an experience war in the jungle or in mid. Really looking at that moment where he decided to recall, right? Deciding to recall instead of going to invade is beyond me, right? Like that's the simplest play. Oh, yep, Vi's diving. They're going for double kills in bot lane. Like obviously we can go for the camps here. They had perfect information, right? You saw that River's entire bot side was open, so you know that the respawns are coming in 2 minutes 15 seconds later, right? So at the latest 4:15 to 5 o'clock or 5 minutes, that jungle can be yours. You can take those, and then you've got the respawn timers. And then you can start playing top to bottom, right? You can start playing vertical jungle, controlling the northern and western quadrants and saying, hey, we can play for this, get Poppy a little bit of a lead, or at least this. You know, she's not your win condition. I know you don't want to play towards this, but if bot's getting dove 3v2 and they have a colossal advantage on the Xayah, like take a moment, at least say, okay, let's at least get mid a little bit ahead. Let's get Poppy just a little bit of pressure to the Scion, right? Let those things add up. And really, we got nothing. So, anyways, we won't harp anymore on it. We'll continue the game. It was a bigger comeback in game 2 that Golden Guardians were able to get themselves out of. But again, right, it's Elk just winning these bot lanes and on, right? Just these combinations, they're finding the ins. Stixay or Huhi, you know, who's not on whose page will be a question. And could it be just a matter of, hey, in the LCS, people don't challenge each other enough to see these windows, right? Everyone takes the safer option. LPL famous for testing limits at all times. Something I'd like to see American teams do, right, in the LCS. They play scrim blocks, right? They play against each other. They scrim. Play in-house. Play against your academy squad. Those guys are not that much worse, all right? And you can help them get better. They can help you get better. You can script the first 6 minutes of the game. You can go over every single matchup and you can test these things inside and out, and it's just something that they do not do often enough. And you constantly see LCS teams just get clowned in international events in the laning phase, right? It's nowhere else, just laning. And they get such tremendous disadvantages there. All right, Gory, able to test the limits, go in all the ways, able to play with a quarter health point bar. Huhi protecting and jumping in. Good job getting that pick. Getting the kill on Tuxun. We'll see if this can slingshot some momentum back to them. But they are down 2k. They've got no control over the river right now because of how enormous this Xayah is. An entire Berserker Greaves and Cloak of Agility in the lead here. Now, one of the things that we do have going for us, that call is going to come online. we're going to be able to get a little bit of a gold spike there. It's not going to be too long. So I do expect these items to come in 13 minutes at the latest, but we're going to have Zaya on 11 minutes or so going there, which is going to coincide with pressure on the dragon, right? So they might have a complete first item going for this dragon, which means that the second one is entirely theirs. Not only that, but they're getting this turret all the way down, which means that there is not a point of pressure on the bot side of the map. This is a colossal gold advantage for them. I would have liked to see Rakan step back there to let Elk get the solo gold. You're always going to be sharing with the jungler who's got the Herald, but you don't want to split it 3 ways, right? Splitting it 2 ways is a little bit better. Unless there's something like completed boots that were on the line there, right? If you're sitting on 900 gold and you want to get to 950, you just hover. But it doesn't look like that's the case, or at least he's being strong while they're taking more waves. Here they go, using the grand entrance. They get the knock up into the Syndra stun. Beautiful chain CC. And that's how it's done, showing what it's done. Good job by Gory, realizing that a lot of cooldowns are missing, able to get those hits in, but I do expect Rakan to just pop this wave and then get back to base. He's actually not wasting any time because he wants to get the ride on the OP Zaya recall. Rakan actually doesn't want to give away where the Zaya is recalling, so he goes back. Check that out. Look at that support play. You know that the faster way out is to just recall on your friend, but then if you go that way, they know where it's going to be, and last time they denied the recall in blank vision. So Rakan actually stepping back, they end up sussing out the Zaya recall anyways, and because Rakan stepped back to a nice safe spot, you actually saved 5 seconds on the marksman recall. So well done there. That's fantastic support play. The little things, tiny little things like that, they just add up. Now, because they were able to deny the backs, Golden Guardians is able to sneak this dragon, which is probably the last objective they're going to get for themselves unless they can create a macro deficiency. So really well done there, keeping the Zaya. You could say mistake by Elk, not finding a safer spot because, you don't need these extra 2 longswords. Could have gotten back with the Gale Force, could have been back in time for this dragon. So it does mean that you get to save a little bit of momentum, tempo, right? They lose some of their tempo, and you might be able to get a little bit later into the game. But to what end, right? Jinx is your only real scaler versus we've got Sion, Syndra stacking up. You've got Zaya's always going to be incredible. Do we see an engage? Rakan's really good in this situation against Jarvan. The heal used to keep River alive, and he does not burn. And in fact, they get the turnaround. They kill Zaya, the most important one on the team. They're going to split up for the Sion. Everything's going to be aimed at Jinx right here. Now, can Jinx get out? There's no way. Can they trade a kill? No, they don't even go for that. Perhaps left a window out. Maybe didn't know about how close Syndra was, but perhaps could have gotten the counter kill on Zun. Stop trying to protect the Jinx. Instead, just let her get either more CS or more damage onto the Vi and see if you can get the rest of a pick there. But Gory playing with no cooldowns is going to be difficult anyways. Now, Licorice is using that time to get some plates for himself up in the top lane. Got his felt 127 CS. Somehow, Sion has 133 despite having left the lane twice. And, the plates will come to the advantage, but Sion already got 3 for themselves. Poppy unable to get that last plate. Using a good job steadfast presence to deny some of the damage there from the Syndra. Well played. And the early Sunfire really saying we're going in for these fights. I want to be tanky. Not going for Divine Sunder despite it being the bar none best possible item in the game against Sion. Good job by Huhi saving that heal for the very last second. Gets them to overcommit just a bit. So they get the 2 kills up front. Gory is, actually Gory... You know what? Missed opportunity there. And this is largely on Stixxay, not even trying. But LeBlanc's clone, very niche situation. But LeBlanc's clone could have blocked the Sion charge there. So something to look for. Might have never come up in their games. And not really something you can plan on because you can't create the clone anywhere. It's not like Nico. River jumping over and surviving. Huhi going golden with the ultimate. They're going to get Jinx Rocket, going to get big chunks out. So they're going to be able to turn this fight. They've got the cooldown advantages, health advantage on the front line. But Bin coming in and just being that stalwart in front stops the aggression. Good positioning. Good job by Licorice and Bin to be in front of their teams. Finding that avenue, either one being too late. Now we have to be careful, right? Your team's trying to back off. You do have a range disparity with these Xayah feathers, right? Those things are going to linger. They create imminent threat. So that will be the end of the action. 6A going to stay in mid. Lazy ward. Very lazy ward. Like the idea, right? It's a great ward to place. You do want one in mid so that you can see rotations, whether or not people are staying with the wave or not. But you can't do it in the face of the marksman who's just going to get them all down. Bin has gotten that wave clear online. You've got Sunfire and your level. Once you get past level 7, you just basically one-shot all the waves. So Sion's going to be looking to do that and to group. Does not want to be long in the lane against Poppy, right? Who has that max health damage on the Q. Did not go Divine Sunder, so not really going to be a threat, but not, was never really going to press a Sion for any amount of lethal damage. Opting for that Sunfire build anyways to say, hey, these fights are going to dogpile. You've got Rakan, Vi, and Sion diving into my team. I want to be stalwart. Now, it is interesting to think, like earlier in the tournament, we saw Darius get played in this sort of situation where enemy teams playing all dive. And if that's the case, Darius is going to have a field day, right? You're coming to me, you're taking away my biggest weakness. These are the sorts of situations where Darius, Garen could thrive, especially if it's champion like Cassante, which Garen's a natural counter to. Those might be the situations. These champions getting recent buffs. Would be exciting to see these juggernauts get played. Not just hyper carry or tank meta as it comes, but one of the teams that's going to affect the most is actually this Billy squad, because Bin plays hyper carries. Right, I'd like to be able to see him. Oh, look at this jump on the backline, diving into the backline, but they don't quite have all the damage to follow it up. It was a little bit too ambitious. The carries could not make it past the Sion, so you end up with double int there, thinking that they had a play, but there was nothing to be continued. They do get 3/4 of Elk's hit point bar, but he was able to peel himself with the ultimate, and they're not able to get enough. LeBlanc does not want to be in these front to back situations, right? Morgana's okay with it. She wants to be in the middle of the fight, middle of the layers, I should say. Oh, great job on stopwatch there. Oh, this is over aggressive by On. Come on, turn it. You've got the aggression right here. You've got the aggression. They miss it. Too many cooldowns down. They're not able to consolidate and hit concise fights, and this game is just bleeding away. This time, Billy not taking the risks that they did in game 2, and they want to take this game home. So what does a fight look like? What does a winning fight look like? Well, what they're trying to set up, the combination they set up for themselves is Jarvan Poppy, right? So Jarvan's going to look to get the ultimate on, and then Poppy's going to try to slam them into the wall. The problem is that Xayah can stand. Look how far back behind the Sion she gets to stand this whole time. Actually didn't even need to use her ultimate there. Ended up proactively dodging the Jinx ult. The Jinx ult came out after. But she was still airborne, so not taking any damage. But you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to put Jarvan to box the Xayah, and then Poppy to slam her against the wall, and they get all the damage. Now, LeBlanc wants to come from the side in that angle. You might get a little bit of a side angle flank from Jarvan to get a good ult. But in that case, like, Jarvan could have ulted another target and still hit Elk. I'd like to see them really try to coordinate that damage, but it's going to be so tough to get past this Sion, especially with no max health damage being built here. You've got no Leandries, no Blade of the Rune King, no Divine Sunderer. They get the Elk. Oh my goodness. Sticks it and gets away. Not quite able to juke away from Yagao on Syndra's signature pick here. And in China, stronger than it is anywhere else. River getting some combo out. Will they be able to finish this? Gory with auto attacks. May not be able to get anything more, but she does step to the turrets to back to get herself into safety. The flash forward from Sion. Vi dashes, gets the LeBlanc, but leaves the Poppy alive. Interesting. Pin tanking 2 turrets to get in between these waves to get the CS out. Clear that wave. Just Sion things, everybody. And yeah, right, like this Sion is just going to be this enormous problem. How does Golden Guardians make it through the Zion here? Is it going to be Leandri's damage from Morgana? I mean, she's going to be rushing Zhonya's. Right here, the root, damage into traps. The ult comes out, but it is too late, and kapop. Fighting on 2 fronts, this is good. Again, Sion just gets in the middle of the fight, starts splitting it up. Huhi flashing over the wall, does get ulted. It's too bad was not able to get the black shield on herself to survive that ulti. Would have been crazy if she could have gotten this off. Now let's check out Gory. They didn't have an inclination here. Oh, they did. It's the chains. Oh my goodness, and that very forgiving hitbox on Vi. I would have liked to see an ulti there from Morgana. Step up into the face of the Rakan. The dash will never get you out. If you're right on top of him, Rakan's dash does not get you out of range, and it has that little bit of extra time as you land. Now, you would be able to get both of the other abilities, right? You'd have to have W and an E target, and then you have a predictable landing spot. Maybe you can hit the binding off of that. River getting himself in a little bit of trouble. Has the Gore Drinker build, but again, we see for about the 10th time this tournament already, Gore Drinker not getting activated because these teams are stacking crowd control. They're stacking team fight. They want the bounce synergy. They do not want you activating that item. And while you're knocked up, you're not going to get it off. These teams are too good at that element of the game. Now, worth noting, check out how they're not killing these wards, right? You've got a control ward down. It is turning off the wards. The only thing you can give vision to your enemies is by hitting it, if you actually hit that ward. But let's see, Poppy knocks out. Do they get him out in time? No, they didn't hit the Vi. Actually knocking Sion away. Knocking Sion away means they maybe had an avenue to jump in. Jarvan could have EQ'd in or gone flash in for the smite. That thing was living under 1200 health for a significant amount of time, like a full second. And we will not be seeing Leandri's here because we have Shrelia's Reverie from Morgana looking to create these fights, right? They want to be the team that's creating. They want to catch the pick, the Jarvan setup into Poppy, right? You can see it written on the wall. This is what they're trying to do. But there's going to be too much peel, right? You've got Vi, Sion, Rakan who can all peel. Rakan even going with Locket, even though Shrelia's is so synergistic with what the kit does. Look at this. Bounce house again. Even to the tanky Licorice. Building full tank with the Jack Show proccing is still not enough to keep him alive. They're just giving up too much. I would have liked to see, honestly, Jarvan building tankier here. And Poppy being the one to build something like Divine Sunder. You can even go one item, one lethality item like Umbral Glaive onto a Jarvan and then build tank from there. Look at the peel from Jarvan. This is not how you want to set up your team up generally, but they do get the pick on the Syndra. That is what they want. Not the number one target, but at least with that one gone, they don't need to worry about splashing in a line or in a cone while you're trying to get on it. Syndra just a fantastic pick into this situation. You're trying to all rush onto one champion. Well, Syndra controls space on one champion like nobody's business. Now let's see. Zoning Sion standing in the middle. Expect this inhibitor to go down as well. I do want to see some chunk damage down. Split the team up. Carry's knocked away. There you go. You can take the rest of this fight. Boom. They're going to get at least one pick, maybe two. All right. When you knock the carry away, that is safe enough time. Now, you cannot overchase because Xayah will be coming back here. Some cooldowns are down. Xayah's going to feel exceptionally strong. Look at all this AoE going through and Bin on the front line. They do go for the ult to the pack side, but Elk does get up in the air to deny it. Zund is fighting against Huhi. Huhi was looking for an angle, it seems like. Potentially trying to flash over and get a flash ult. He ends up having to use these defensively. and Bin on Scion, just controlling the space. Kind of mistake by Golden Guardians, right? Zaya got ulted away. She's going to be back within 10 seconds. You got to know that. So they had to take their pick and just kind of walk back out. That being said, this might have been their best chance at a, like, what we'll call a coin flip. It's not 50-50, but this game's not 50-50. So maybe taking that 30-70 chance and just going all in, put all your eggs in the basket and say, let's ride. It's just got to be now, right? That might have been their best chance at coming back in the game. So I like that they're going for it, but they got to commit, right? The call has to be, Geronimo, we're going. This is it. Make the best of it. Ride or die right here. Live or die right here. Instead, we have a 1-6 Jinx, down 30 CS, down a full item and more to the enemy AD carry, on top of being down 2 levels. So Zaya having access to all of her kit, all of the ranks just about. And they've got this 2 inhibitor advantage, so they're just going to go look for them to push in top wave. Now, Scion might lead the wave right now. I would have liked to see him slow that push down, right? Instead, he gets this gummed up under the turret, which is not what you want. You want to wait till your team's in position. Now, after they take this turret, Scion should move over to mid lane and get in this position. But we are going to see a forced fight. Vi does get sight of the teleport. Poppy is behind them. Are they going to be able to find this connect? Jarvan's going to have to lock the Zaya into the wall. Vi's going to be on full peeling duty. Rakan's going to be on peeling duty. Poppy is finding her way in. They see that the waves are gone. This is your opportunity. It's got to be now. You have to go now. You cannot let them back out. Great job by Billy, right? And this stems with Vi seeing the teleport, stepping up and saying, hey, Poppy's behind us somewhere. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And when we feel it, when we feel that the time would be right for a Poppy to engage, let's collapse. And they completely did it. That was entirely based on feel. That was touch. All touch, right? All feeling, instinct. Love to see it. So they do burn some amount of their cooldowns, but 4v5 and without the linchpin of their comp, right? Like, how are you supposed to set up the Jarvan lockdown combo if you don't have Poppy staying in for the lockdown? Right, those two synergize so well, because once Poppy jumps in, then she puts up the steadfast presence. You can't dash, you can't get out of the pit, and then she can get a chain knock up from there. But yeah, Gore Drinker, man, I hate the Gore Drinker here. I do like the idea, right? You're jumping into the middle of the team, you want to get a big Gore Drinker heal off, but instead I would have liked to see Umbral Glaive into tank, right? Something like Radiant Virtue is my favorite combination on Jarvan. Not saying it would have changed this game necessarily, because we saw at 4 minutes, just, it's here. Brains win games. And someone was feeling the pressure. There was miscommunication between Huhi and River. And then when Vi was ganking bot, right? And getting that double kill under turret with a stacked wave. They were there for 45 seconds. And Jarvan did not take anything in the western side quadrant. Just kind of an indicator of where things were going to go this game. Just wasn't there, wasn't playing to the maximum. So the good news is Golden Guardians will have a chance in the lower bracket to still make it in. Love this format. Absolutely love the play-in format with best of threes and double elimination. Gives all these teams a second chance at breath, lets them play more international games. And for the Golden Guardians, they don't have expectations in this tournament. Their expectations are, let's get some international experience. Licorice has been here. I do believe River has as well, actually. And Stixay. Actually, you know what? This team, a lot of these guys have had it. They've been there. They don't need the extra reps. Enough veteran presence on this team. They want to compete. They want to get some experience competing against these best teams. And make no mistake about it, Billy is better than anything that they play domestically. All right, so let's check out the technique from China, how they're going to finish it off. We have the flash engage from Rakan. Getting knocked out all the way in, all the way out. That is the most travel I've seen that fast. Like Rakan, double dash, flash, ultimate, everything to get in. Jarvan does get his angle on the back and is able to EQ out. Is Poppy able to find the angle, though? No. There is no Poppy to be had. Poppy already gone. They already got no follow-up. Morgana can't even jump into that pit. Uses the flash, but to no avail. And this game was a wipe. This game, oh, Billy is strong. They are very strong. Some moments to look forward to. Golden Guardians has some things that they can build on for sure. And Licorice proving in game 2 that he can put a team on his back. You know, Stixay's done it before. We need better from River and from Huhi, though. All right, catch you next game. Peace.